What's up, guys? It's me, the ALE Double X Prince, here to give you a continuation of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This time I'll be reviewing Iron Man 3. The beginning of Phase 2. Let's see. Over the years, I didn't really dug this movie. I always thought that Iron Man 2 was slightly better than this. I always thought that the whole Mandarin thing was bullshit. I always thought that it was dumb that they didn't call the Avengers. And then, I try to defend it because there is some stuff that I do like about this movie. But at the end of the day, I'm never gonna like this movie. It's just a fact. I'm never going to enjoy this movie. No matter how many people try to convince me, no matter how many people try to help me and tell me that I'm wrong, that you didn't get it, this movie just downright sucks. I just don't like it. It's my least favorite of the Marvel Cinematic Universe personally. Yes, I do not like this. There's some stuff that is more enjoyable than Iron Man 2, but overall, this movie just fucking sucks. They replaced Jon Favreau with Shane Black, a qualified guy. He directed Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. At the time, future down the road, he does The Nice Guys, but he's mainly popular for his amazing writing of, The Predator and Lethal Weapon, two of the greatest action movies of all time. So I was like, what the hell can go wrong with this movie? Oh, a lot could go wrong with this movie. And it started off pretty strong, just basically the life of Tony Stark. They do have a flashback of 1999 New Year's when basically Robert Downey Jr. They show Happy Hogan. So even though Jon Favreau got fired from directing, he still made an appearance for this one. And then he's dating this chick played by Rebecca Hall, and then he gets called by Guy Pearce, who's a fucking loser, who's just a fucking no life nobody, who's just pathetic ass loser. So there was everything that could have gone wrong with this went wrong. Iron Patriot, or War Machine, whatever you want to call him in this movie, but when he turns into Iron Patriot, it made sense with the whole, looking like Captain America and also working for the government. So it worked well for War Machine to be the Iron Patriot. It doesn't come back to play even a while, but it's good to have I'm cool with the Avengers not always appearing, but for this one it could have made sense to at least have a Black Widow or a Hawkeye around this movie, or Gallagher guy. How about that? But yeah. The thing that they really did get correctly and was genius was how Iron Man is still traumatized about his fight in New York going into space. I remember the kid asking how is going into the hole, and then Iron Man just has a flashback of him throwing the missile, and he's giving an autograph, but he fucks up the guy's drawing by mistake, and he just it's brilliant writing, it's, to be honest. And the fact that he's struggling to make iron suits, it makes sense because he probably doesn't even want to do that anymore. But then here's where it all fails. Iron Man gets too cocky with the Mandarin. He basically, throughout the movie they stop the movie just to show these terrorist attacks, and yeah, technically the Mandarin is basically on his way. Honestly, it was just really stupid how he never sets up any alarms hey, yeah, look, this is my house, Mandarin, if you wanna fight me, here it is, go to this address. And then he didn't even set up security. Rebecca Hall walks in just with a freaking ding dong on the door. Pepper's who the hell is she? This ex I used to date. It was just awkward. And then he doesn't even realize that there's a missile shooting through his house until he watches the news. And it was just really, really stupid. Really? How is it that this happened? And it does affect me. Like, why don't they get the Avengers? Like, I get it, they don't have to get Thor because he's doing shit on his own. He's an Asgard, it makes sense. Hulk probably doesn't even want to fight anymore, so it makes sense not to get him. But at least they could have gotten like some agents. Like, they needed Samuel L. Jackson in this movie. They needed Nick Fury, like, to make sense, because here's the thing: Tony, for the most part, he is. There's theories that he is dead. He is a goner. He's done, and it doesn't occur to like anybody to try to stop the Mandarin. Like, what kind of like stupid shit is that? Like, the government didn't want to do it, which makes fucking sense because that's how stupid the government is. Um, fucking, you know, the Avengers didn't try to stop the Mandarin. But so basically, Tony is on his own. He's stuck somewhere for most of this movie with some kid played by Ty Simpkins, who find out later happens to be in Insidious, and he's also that awkward little boy in Jurassic World. I don't know. This guy is honestly a shitty actor. Other than The Nice Guys, it's probably his best movie, but it doesn't say much about Ty Simpkins. But yeah, he was really annoying in this movie. Even Tony treated him like shit, and he's just like, yeah, this kid's pathetic. Like, I don't know. And it makes sense, you know, that Iron Man is like trying to do stuff on his own, so that mentality works. Um, and you know, him trying to, you know, he's making like all these interesting gadgets, like he. Also, because this is a Shane Black movie, these movies have to take place on Christmas, except Nice Guys, of course. But, anyways, Iron Man throws like a Christmas ornament, but it turns out to be a bomb. So like, it just shows the cleverness of who Tony Stark is as a character. And then when he catches the Mandarin, he's just some doofus who acts like they just give him a script of shit to do. Yeah, and Ben Kingsley, they really fucked him up. Now, a lot of people argue that they should have gone like an Asian actor to play the Mandarin, but knowing controversy in 2013, it probably wouldn't work, and it was just like, wow, this is really bad. So there's that, and yeah, I just really didn't enjoy this at all. It was just really, really bad. Yeah. But yeah, Ben Kingsley as a Mandarin, never liked it. It was just a stupid ass idea that I will never understand why people like, oh, look, a twist. Fuck that twist. It was the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. I can never get anyone to give me a proper answer why the Mandarin as Ben Kingsley, this fucking jokey ass dumbass, worked. I don't get it. And it really did fuck up Ben Kingsley's career because he ends up being a fucking nobody after this. Yeah, and this whole idea that Tony is dead does work, but they don't do shit about it. Like, the government's just like in hiding, just scared shitless. But they won't fucking bother to start a war or like do anything. Hell, I mean, it makes sense in that, you know, the president called them and then killed one of his men, but I mean, still, you guys are that damn pussy to fucking do something about it. Or hell, like I said, just send the Avengers. Like, it was just really stupid. Like, and I hate using that idea, but like, of using the Avengers and other people's movies, because at the end of the day, you don't want to steal their spotlight. But this is just like lazy, because like, yeah, it's just like really dumb. Like, if anything, I would have just had Iron Man, say like, I got this on my own and shit. Like, it was just really, really dumb. But let's just talk about the person I really, really didn't like in this movie, and that is Guy Pearce as the real Mandarin. So he's supposed to be this tech genius that is just as smart as Stark. Like, why are all these villains supposed to be as smart as Stark? Granted, Jeff Bridges is just a guy who just wanted to get paid. That's basically all Jeff Bridges was. But this guy is just like, he's hitting on Pepper even though he knows she's married. She's well, not married, but she's with Tony Stark. He's just a fucking. He's just lame. Like, I remember in the New Year's party when he showed him as a nerd. Like, yeah, I would probably treat him like shit too. Like I don't know, like I don't know. It's just my personal opinion. I know I hate being a dick to people, but you know, like if that guy Pierce showed up to you and like bugged you and shit while you're with your girl or your stuff, would you really pay attention to this guy? And there's a theory going on that they copied The Incredibles, which is funny because it's also owned by Disney. Yeah, so it was just a really, I really did not like this dude. Hell, they, how it should have ended even parried this up, like how they copied the Avengers, how Iron Man is trapped like this, and everything was just on point with The Incredibles. The difference with The Incredibles, the villain was technically a child, so he doesn't know any better. This is a grown ass fucking man, and he's been holding this grudge for 13 years. Like, fuck out of here. Like, if anything, I would just have him be Whiplash, and that would have been a little bit more sense. In Iron Man 2, it actually could have helped out so much more. But yeah, I don't like this movie at all. Again, we do have some cool spots. Like, see, this is the thing. They're showing you some cool things, but at the end of the day, cool things doesn't make a great movie. Ready Player One, while a good movie, it's not the greatest of all time. So maybe bad example. I'm trying to think of like a bad movie with cool shit. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I can't think of any. I'm sorry. But yeah, this movie just is such a letdown, and it was just so dumb. And it was cool, that plane sequence with Iron Man saving everybody. It was cool. It was like a really nice, because they basically used technology, and they actually used real life people who are skydivers to do this thing. So it really worked for them. It was a brilliant move, so that was cool. Overall, this is just like fucking awful. But yeah, like yeah, those cool moments don't save this movie. It just don't. And then the whole thing of Pepper turning into so throughout this movie they have like people who glow and burn shit or explode. It was just like really like they just made shit up. Like this is just like the randomest of randomest shits I've ever seen in my life. And anyways, both Don Cheadle and Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, and Rhodes are basically fighting the Mandarin without the suit. But then we find out that Iron Man had this entire army of suits ready to... Yeah, they're basically controlled on their own. If that's possible, why didn't he do this when they attacked his fucking house? Like, it was just so dumb. So, anyways, it's a cool little scene of just like all the Iron Man suits. But yeah, and how he just switches from suit to suit to suit. They show that Pepper Potts dies, but she doesn't actually die, and that became a trend in the future movies. But basically, Pepper Potts basically turns into those like really odd, glowing peoples, and she basically breaks shit all the time. She basically kills the Mandarin, not Iron Man, even though it's his movie, but whatever. I'll let that slide. Also, I didn't even bring up the whole Pepper being in the Iron Man suit. That was cool. Like, that I'll give it a pass. But anyways, also, what is it with... I remember, I didn't even bring up another thing, but Ty Simpkins doesn't come back after this. Like, what was the whole point of Ty Simpkins' character in the first place? Like, it was just stupid. It's some little boy in the snow that gets picked on anyways. I don't know. He could have done much better if they brought him, like, in the future movies. And that's another problem. Yeah, that maybe the movies shouldn't, like, you shouldn't rely on all the movies connecting exactly properly. But to an extent, you gotta have, like, some boundaries. Like, how did Iron Man go from, like, I'm retired as Iron Man, I will never be Iron Man anymore? He takes the thing that gives him life. I feel like he should have kept that, but basically said, I'm done being Iron Man. He's done with all the suits. And I would have had it played off in the Avengers instead of him, oh, look, I'm back in the suit. Everybody, like, It just shows that we had so much creative differences. And honestly, without this movie, we wouldn't have the failures of a Fan Four stick, the Fantastic Four. Remember how bad that shit was? Because of creative differences. Now every movie's scared that they'll turn out like Iron Man 3. So yeah, you could really blame this movie for how we see some of the baddest movies in the world right now, like The Mummy and shit. But granted, not every franchise could be a universe. With that said, this is just this movie fails. It's my least favorite in the MCU just because of how stressful it is to just put everything together. Like I don't when I watch this movie, I don't see like what everybody else sees. However, I do understand how some people might like it, but I still don't like this movie at all. It's just I've never liked this movie. I never did, and I never will probably. I'll probably take like until Avengers 7 to maybe like this movie, but it's just not it for me. It's not my cup of tea. It does look like a good send off to the Iron Man trilogy, but just everything was just so sloppily written. And if it was a standalone Shane Black film, I probably wouldn't complain as much. But the fact that it's a part of this big universe is just it hurts the movie. And to top it off, Mark Ruffalo makes a cameo at the end, basically Iron Man telling this whole story, and I basically was Mark Ruffalo fucking sleeping through this shit. But yeah, hell, if they had Mark Ruffalo, why didn't they use him? I know they probably can't CG the Hulk in, but like maybe he's controlling his anger, maybe he helps him with some technology stuff, something. It would just make no sense. I just don't like this movie. I'm done talking about this movie. This movie. It's bad. I'll give it like a C minus because there's some enjoyable stuff. Like not every, even the shitty Marvel Cinematic Universe movies are not horrible, but yeah, they're still pretty like have its issues. Yeah, that's my personal opinion. I'm done. I'm talking about this. I'll talk about Thor Ragnarok, maybe something to get my mind off of it. Anyways, me, the AOL Double X Prince. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and until then, I'm out.